On this episode of YaEat, we're making lamb ragu and cavatelli. If you like lamb, you're not going to want to miss this recipe, and it practically cooks on its own.
Spend some time with your family and watch this recipe, and make sure you watch to the end.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of YaEat. As usual, I'm really excited to have you here, and I really appreciate all of your support. If you're new, thanks for joining us. If you're returning, welcome back. Today, well, first of all, let me say I hope you all enjoyed the Labor Day weekend. I had a really exciting and fulfilling weekend. My nephew got married. So if you watched any previous episodes, I did help cater his engagement party over the summer. It was great to see some family. We had some great food. I got to dance a little bit, got to mingle around, and it was just a really wonderful weekend. Well, because I was running around all week getting ready for the wedding, I needed a recipe that kind of was going to cook on its own. So I got a little bit of prep today, and then it's going to cook in the oven for about 2.5 hours, slow cooking. So today we're going to be making, before I even get to that, I got the idea from this recipe. I was watching The Sopranos not that long ago, and one of the episodes, they went to this new restaurant. So Carmela ordered a Lamb Ragu, and she offered some to Tony.
I think it's a Lamb Ragu.
Holy shit.
And his reaction alone just made me want to eat it. So ever since I saw that episode, I wanted to make this Lamb Ragu. So that's what we're making today. We're going to be making Lamb Ragu, and we're going to serve it with Cavatelli Pasta. So I'm excited, and I'm ready to make some Lamb Ragu. Are you ready? Here we go. Print all our recipes on YaEat.tv. What I have here is some lamb shoulder chops. This is all I could find in my supermarket. You could use lamb shank, or you could use part of a small portion of the leg of lamb. We're just going to cut. I'm going to use the bone, but I'm going to cook the bone in the sauce. But I'm going to break these pieces down. So I'm just going to remove them from the bone. You can keep some of the fat on here, it's okay. We can remove some of it. I'm going to keep some of the bones, some of these small pieces of bones here. They're so small that they're going to get lost in the sauce, so I'm just going to remove them, although they would give really good flavor. I don't feel like hunting for them later because they're so small and they have to be removed or someone could choke. You want to keep as much of the lamb meat as possible, but you do want to keep a little bit of the fat because there's a lot of flavor. So the fat's also going to break down very nicely because we're going to brown it in this Dutch oven. So we're going to put the flame on this Dutch oven. We're going to add some extra virgin olive oil. We'll get that hot, and then we're going to add the lamb to it. And while the lamb's cooking, we're going to prep up some of our mirepoix, which is our onion and our celery and our carrots that we're going to add. And we're also going to puree down some of the sauce as well. All right, we're going to sprinkle a little sea salt on top of this. Get some black pepper. Okay, so I have my thyme right here, and I'm going to just tie it up with some butcher string. I'm going to throw this right in as well with the lamb. Or the onion diced very small. Okay, we're going to cut up some celery as well. Again, we're going to cut it up kind of small. Okay, the lamb is starting to brown very nicely. We want to get it nice and brown. Now, like I said, we're going to remove it, and then we're going to sweat the onions and the vegetables. Okay, I'm going to just shut that down for a second while I remove the meat and the thyme. I'm going to put that back in. It doesn't have to be that finely chopped. We're going to add that to the oil. Put all that flavor in there. We're going to add the onion. We're going to add the celery. Okay, now we're going to add the red wine. We'll let that simmer for a second. Then we're going to add our tomatoes. These are San Marzano tomatoes. Now I always like to make sure I have enough sauce, so I'm going to add a little bit more of this. I want to blend this down a little bit. It's going to break down quite a bit after cooking it for a couple hours, but I just want to give it a head start. Mostly want to break down the big plump tomato and some of the mirepoix, the vegetables, and the onions, carrots, and celery. Okay, so now we can add the meat back in along with the thyme and the bone. We're going to add a little beef stock. We may use more of that later because this should thicken up. I'm going to cook it on the stove top till it boils a little bit, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. I throw in some oregano. And some bay leaves. We add some fresh parsley. And a lot of fresh basil. It's going to loosely chop the basil. All right, let's get this in the oven. Okay, so all we have to do now is cover this and we're gonna put it in the oven. We're gonna set our timer. I got the oven on 350 degrees for 2.5 hours. We'll be back. Don't forget about our monthly contest that we will be starting once we reach 1,000 YouTube subscribers. All you need to do to qualify is to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like at least one of our videos. And as our YouTube channel grows, so will our prizes. Don't forget to click the bell and spread the word. Okay, it's been about 2.5 hours, so we're going to get the water on for the cavatelli. So while we're waiting for the water to boil, we're going to take a look at our lamb ragu. Ooh, look at that. So we're going to take out this thyme and this bone. Some of the bay leaves we'll remove as well. Here's the other bone. And then you'll see this meat just going to just fall apart. So I want to make sure that I got all the thyme out. It kind of broke apart on me. So just make sure we grab any of the twigs from the thyme. I'm just going to mix this in, and the lamb is just going to fall apart. Okay? And then lastly, what we'll do is we're going to give it a taste test. That was really good. I don't know if I need to put any more seasoning in there. Maybe some salt. Okay, so we're going to put the cavatelli in, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to just mix the pasta with the sauce, and we're going to put it on a plate. Okay, I'm going to add our cavatelli. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the ragu. I'm going to put it in here. We'll take a little bit of the beef stock. We'll thin it out a little bit. Looks like our cavatelli is ready to go. Just like the gnocchi, as when it starts to rise up, it's ready to go, but let's just double check these. All right, here we go. Okay, we'll just finish it off. Top a little of the sauce on top. Do a little grated cheese, fresh parsley, a sprig of basil, a A little extra virgin olive oil on top. And there we go. Lamb Ragu and Cavatelli. You eat? You want to eat? Make this recipe. It's delicious. Okay, that wraps up this week's recipe of the Lamb Ragu with Cavatelli. I'm really excited to try this, and let's give it a shot. This is really, really good, I must say. Oh my God. I have to be honest, I've never made this before, and I've never eaten it before, and it's really delicious. If you like lamb, you gotta give it a shot. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed our recipe of the Lamb Ragu with Cavatelli. Thank you for joining me today. We will be back next week with a new recipe, and you have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Jesus Christ, Artie, I could recite that menu in my sleep.
Where'd you get this bread? The bread museum?
Cavatelli Pasta.
45 minutes for some grilled eggplant?
You didn't notice? Artie's game's a little off lately.
Artie, you been to this, that Giovanni up by Troy Hills?
No, I haven't been. Supposed to be incredible. He's a kid, right?
I hate fish, but his with the agrodolce.
The gnocchi.
I'll take your word, it's a little too rich for my stomach.
It's okay, just a bite. I think it's a lamb ragu with just a scoop of cold ragout.
Holy shit.
Here's an offer you shouldn't refuse. Subscribe to this channel.